Yashoda Jaya Raja Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. We're reading from Srimad Bhāgavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 29. Explanation of Devotional Service, Text 13. Okay. Salokya Sarshti Samipya Sarupyai Katvam Api Uta Diyamanamna Grinanti Vinamat Sevanam Jana Salokya Sarshti Samipya Sarupyaikatvam apiyutam Dhyamata Dhyamanam nagrinanti Vinamatsevanam jana. Dhyamanam nagrinanti
Salokya sarti samipya Sarupe katvam api uta Diyamanam na grihanti Vina mat sevanam janaha
Salokya sarshti samipya Grinanti Salokya sarshti samipya Svarupaikatvam apiyuta Grinanti Namatsevaya. Salokya sarshti samipya Srupyaikatvam apiyuta Dhyamanam grinanti Vinamasevanam jana. Salokya, living on the same planet. Sarshti, having the same opulence. Samipya, to be a personal associate. Sarupya, having the same bodily features. Ekatvam, oneness. Api, also. Uta, even. Dhyamanam, being offered. Na, not. Grinanti, do accept. Vina, without. Mat, my. Sevanam, devotional service. Janaha, pure devotees. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace by Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, Salokya, Sarshti, Samipya, Sarupya or Ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. Lord Chaitanya teaches us how to execute pure devotional service out of spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the easiest way to perform devotional service, when it is performed because of spontaneous love. It's not easy to attain this level, but when it's attained, it's very easy, natural. Why? Because when you have affectional love, pure love for someone, whatever you do is guided by this primordial or basic or most important emotion. This is your motivation. So you may do sometimes spontaneously things that for outsiders look a little awkward or strange, but they are nonetheless expression of pure love. You may call your beloved with funny names, which may sound strange for people, and they may even say, "Wow, this is strange, this is offensive," even. But between you, there is a bond. So he or she knows what you mean and you know what you mean. So it's easy, it's spontaneous, natural, but it's not easy to reach this level. So now, in the level of consciousness where we are at right now, spontaneous, when we are spontaneous, natural, we are more or less acting on a mental platform. So for us, spontaneous and natural means sense gratification, separated from Krishna. So we are spontaneously attracted to things that are actually harmful to us. So the process of devotional service brings us to a platform of consciousness where whatever we desire is good. It's connected to Krishna, it's pleasing Krishna and the devotees. Like imagine if you are in such a state of mind. It just, thought comes to your mind, I want to please Krishna in this way, and this is perfect already. And when you do it, it's even more perfect, because then Krishna is actually pleased. And for us, we have to double check every time. When a thought comes in our mind about anything, we have to make sure that actually it is in accordance with the Guru, Shastra and Sadhu. Otherwise, if we just become spontaneous in this way, then it's danger. There is danger. Therefore, Shastra says, Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidimvida Ekantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatadaiva Kalpate. If the devotional service, thank you, devotional service doesn't conform to the statements of the Shastra, then it is a disturbance. If we are on our level of consciousness, if we are very, very spontaneous and have very strong desire to do something, and we are very enlivened, this might be very well just Maya. So don't take it very seriously. We shouldn't take our minds very seriously. We should always take good advice from senior devotees and from Shastra, from Guru. Just like if you are a musician or different types of artists, the example comes to mind is Picasso. He was very good in classical painting. He knew how to paint, how to draw according to the masters in this art. But then he developed, on the basis of this, he developed his own unique style, which looks, for a non-specialist, for a layman, it looks a little funny. It doesn't mean that he cannot do the Raphael or Rembrandt or all these guys. He can actually paint like this. So the point is that once we develop, through the process of Vaidhi Bhakti, we develop our natural capacity for loving Krishna, then on this solid basis only we can be spontaneous. People usually, and devotees sometimes, they're mistaken, they're confused between being spontaneous and being whimsical. Whimsical is not good. Whimsical means you just follow whatever the hell comes to your mind. And this usually is not pleasing for Krishna. Spontaneous means that you have followed the process properly, you purified our consciousness, and then on this basis, because we have spontaneous love, then whatever we do will be pleasing for Krishna. Alright, so Lord Chaitanya teaches us how to execute pure devotional service out of spontaneous love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Shikshashtaka, he prays to the Lord, O Lord, I do not wish to gain from you any wealth, nor do I wish to have a beautiful wife, nor do I wish to have many followers. All I want from you is that in life after life I may remain a pure devotee at your lotus feet. There is a similarity between the prayers of Lord Chaitanya and the statements of Srimad Bhāgavatam. Lord Chaitanya prays, in life after life, indicating that a devotee does not even desire the cessation of birth and death. The yogis and empiric philosophers desire cessation of the process of birth and death, but a devotee is satisfied to remain even in this material world and execute devotional service. So why is a devotee satisfied to remain in this material world and to execute devotional service? Why he doesn't aspire for liberation? He doesn't even want to go back home to Godhead.
Devotee was just explaining, devotee was asking if someone in a material body can also be liberated, and he was explaining that yes, in a material body, even in the material world, can also still be liberated. So because they're liberated, they're not necessarily wanting to get out of this world.
Yes, and how do you define liberation?
And their consciousness is in the spiritual world.
So liberation means pure devotional service. Okay. Because they are completely happy and satisfied. They are in contact with Krishna all the time, so they don't need to go anywhere else. And these yogis and empiric philosophers, Srila Prabhupada speaks about here, these are known as yogis, obviously, Ashtanga yogis, and jnanis and karmis. All of these people, they have other desires. They are selfishly motivated. The karmis, both of them, they want to be God. The karmis want to be God by enjoying and controlling. Karmi means a person who wants to perform pious activities and enjoy the result. And they want to be God by controlling and enjoying. And the jnanis, they also want to be God when they become frustrated by their attempts to enjoy, because you inevitably become disappointed, right? And when they become disappointed, then they want to also to become God by rejecting, by renouncing, by being free from Maya and from Krishna as well. They want to be independent. So this is, Srila Prabhupada calls this the last snare of Maya. They are not out of Maya's influence, because they still don't want to surrender. It is clearly stated herein that the pure devotee does not desire ekatva, oneness with the Supreme Lord, as desired by the impersonalists, the mental speculators, and the meditators. To become one with the Supreme Lord is beyond the dream of a pure devotee. Sometimes he may accept promotion to the Vaikuntha planets to serve the Lord there, but he will never accept merging into the Brahmana effulgence, which he considers worse than hellish. So, the ultimate goal of the impersonalists, liberation, is considered hellish by the devotees. Why?
Can you repeat the question?
The ultimate goal of the impersonalists, which is liberation, merging with the Brahmajyoti, is considered hellish experience for the devotees. Why?
Because like you're not getting a chance to serve the
Yes.
serve the Lord.
Very well. So, if we are very much attracted to somebody and we always enjoy his association, if we are bereft of this association, this is hellish experience. It's the worst pain possible. In the discussions between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai, Mahaprabhu asks Ramananda Rai, what is the most painful experience possible? And Ramananda Rai replies, separation from the devotee of the Lord is the most painful. And because Krishna includes also his pure devotees, so it's one thing. Krishna and the pure devotees are there together. A separation from Krishna and the pure devotees. So therefore it is hellish. But the impersonalists, they cannot understand this. For them, the important thing is that I don't want to suffer in the material world. So Krishna or without Krishna, I don't care. The important thing is that I don't experience pain. and they view the personal relationship as illusion. They think that the body of the Lord is also made of material elements, so they don't appreciate personal interaction. For them, everything, all this is a symptom of Maya. Therefore, they're called Mayavadis. Such a kattva, or merging into the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, is called kaivalya. But the happiness derived from kaivalya is considered by the pure devotees to be hellish. The devotee is so fond of rendering service to the Supreme Lord that the 5 kinds of liberation are not important to him. If one is engaged in pure transcendental loving service to the Lord, it is understood that he has already achieved the 5 kinds of liberation. When a devotee is promoted to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, he receives 4 kinds of facilities. One of these is Salokya, living on the same planet as the Supreme Personality. The Supreme Person, in his different planetary expansions, lives on innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and the chief planet is Krishna Loka. Just as within the material universe, the chief planet is the sun, in the spiritual world, the chief planet is Krishna Loka. From Krishna Loka, the bodily effulgence of Lord Krishna is distributed not only to the spiritual world, but to the material world as well. It is covered by matter, however, in the material world. In the spiritual world, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and on each one of and which one the Lord is the predominating deity. A devotee can be promoted to one such Vaikuntha planet to live with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Sarshti liberation, the opulence of the devotee is equal to the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Samipya means to be a personal associate of the Supreme Lord. In Sarupya liberation, the bodily features of the devotee are exactly like those of the Supreme Person. But for 2 or 3 symptoms, they are exactly like those of the Supreme Person, but for 2 or 3 symptoms found exclusively on the transcendental body of the Lord. Srivatsa, for example, the hair of the chest of the Lord, particularly distinguishes him from his devotees. That means that if the Vishnu Dutas appear here, if a Vishnu Dutta would come now here in front of us, we would not be able to distinguish him from the Supreme Lord, practically. And that means he could pretend to be the Supreme Lord. What can we say? This is described in Brihad Bhagavatam when Gopkumara reaches Vaikuntha. First, the Vishnu Dutas, they request him to stay and to wait outside of the gates because they want to go into inside and to inform the Lord and to take permission so that they can bring Gopkumara in front of him. And for a while, Gopkumara stays outside of Vaikuntha and he's just waiting. And then he sees how different personalities from time to time they come from somewhere and they enter Vaikuntha. And each and every time he thinks, oh, this is the Lord, this is my worshipable deity. And then he offers obeisances, he experiences ecstatic symptoms. By the way, this word ecstatic is actually a Greek word, and the meaning is what you experience outside of the body. So it's quite appropriate. So it is logically contradictory to use this word for material emotion, because material means you are conditioned by the body and the mind. So ecstasy means outside of the body. It's spiritual experience. So then every time Gopkumara thinks that, okay, this must be the Lord. And then he offers obeisances, and then this devotee, who is not actually the Lord, but looks like him, he's very disturbed. No, I'm not the Lord. I'm just humble servant of the Lord. How can you say that I'm the Lord? And then he enters inside. And then again, another devotee comes, and Gopkumara thinks, wow, now I'm sure this is the Lord. And again, the same thing happens. So the point is that the Vishnudutas can come here and they can pretend that they're the Lord. Nobody can oppose them. Nobody can say anything because they are spiritual, they have all the mystic powers and perfections. But they never do that because they experience the bliss of being Lord's servants. Okay, so in Sashti, where are we? Yes. A pure devotee does not accept these 5 kinds of spiritual existence, even if they are offered. And he certainly does not hanker after material benefits, which are all insignificant in comparison with spiritual benefits. So this kind of logic is called Kaimutya Nyaya. Kaimutya Nyaya means if they are not interested in the higher benefit offered to them, the spiritual liberation, they for sure they are not interested in lower benefits like the material benefits. So this is called Kaimutya. And it goes also in different areas also. It can be used, this logic. For example, again from the conversation of Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Raya. In the very beginning, when Ramananda Raya proposes following Varnashrama, the Lord dismisses this proposal by saying Eko Bahya, this is external. So in a sense we can say that the Lord dismisses Varnashrama. Of course he doesn't actually. Following Varnashrama is not the ultimate goal, but it is beneficial when it's connected to Krishna. But the same logic can be applied there. If the Lord rejects, so to say, to some extent, in certain sense, the social structure proposed by himself, by Krishna, that means, according to this Kaimutya logic, that means that all other social structures proposed by mental speculators are even more rejected. Yeah? We cannot say that, well, we don't care about Varnashrama because it's material, and at the same time embrace the social structures and proposals proposed by the karmis. Varnashrama is at least in the mode of goodness, and it's conducive for developing bhakti, because that's what Shastra says. All these other systems, democracy, socialism, whatever, they're in the Rajas and Tamas. So it is inconsistent to do this. If you reject this, then you have to reject all of them. Okay, pure devotee does not accept these 5 kinds of spiritual existence, even if they are offered, and he certainly does not hanker after material benefits, which are all insignificant in comparison with spiritual benefits. When Prahlad Maharaj was offered some material benefit, he stated, "My Lord, I have seen that my father achieved all kinds of material benefits, and even the demigods were afraid of his opulence. But still, in a second, you have finished his life and all his material prosperity. For a devotee, there is no question of desiring any material or spiritual prosperity. He simply aspires to serve the Lord. That is his highest happiness." Here, Prabhupada gives the example of Prahlad Maharaj. When Nrsimhadev offered blessings to Prahlad Maharaj, he offered him all kinds of anything that he could aspire for. And Prahlad Maharaj replied, "My dear Lord, please don't tempt me with these offerings. You know very well I'm coming from a demoniac background, so we are very fond of sense gratification with demons." So he takes this humble position. So please don't try to tempt me by these offerings. We don't have to have a different relationship than what we already have. I'm already constitutionally your eternal servant and you my eternal master. We don't have to go beyond that. If I now aspire and desire something else, this would make me a what's the word? A merchant. This is a trade, Vaishya. I give something, and I expect that you will give me something in return. So why is this bad actually? Because for a devotee, the greatest reward is having the opportunity to render service to the Lord. And if you have this personal service to the Lord, and there is nothing higher than that. Therefore, we are very careful to say always that we don't chant Hare Krishna in order to attain something else. We are chanting Hare Krishna. Why? Because we want to chant more Hare Krishna with better quality of chanting, to experience love of God. That's why we're chanting. It's not that we chant and then Krishna is supposed to give us something different from devotional service. Therefore, the devotional service is both the meaning, it is both sadhya, the method, and sadhya, the goal. All other processes, no other process can claim this. The karmis, when they perform sacrifices, for example, in order to please the demigods, that's not their goal. They don't perform sacrifices so that they can continuously perform sacrifices. They want to please the demigods so that they can go to heaven and enjoy. And then when the pious credit is over, then they will perform again sacrifices. The yogis, they perform their sadhana, their austerity, their tapasya, because they want mystic powers. The jnanis, they turn the pages of Vedanta Sutra and study this philosophical literature. Because, why? Because they have taste to study Vedanta Sutra? Not so much. Well, they have some taste, although it's dry. But no, they want liberation. They have different desire. The devotees, on the opposite. We are supposed to perform devotional service for the sake of the service. And in due course of time, it will become better and better because it will become spontaneous, and Krishna will be more and more pleased by us. So this is the pure devotional service. So what is the definition of pure devotional service? What is pure devotional service? How do you define it? Thank you, Prabhu. So this is the famous definition of Rupa Goswami. And in this definition, okay, at least remember, we have to remember, who defined pure devotional service? Rupa Goswami, okay? Where? Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So in this definition, he explains that there are three factors that make one activity bhakti. And there are two factors that make this bhakti pure bhakti. So first he qualifies bhakti. So what is bhakti? And these are, it has to be, first of all, it has to be activity. We have to do something with the senses and the mind. And it has to be in accordance with the previous authorities. It's not just any activity, but this type of activity that are given by the acharyas. It has to be for Krishna. And Krishna includes Krishna and his pure devotees. And this is the second. And the third It has to be with favorable intention. So these three qualify activity as bhakti. And there are two more that qualify this activity, this bhakti as pure bhakti. And these are, it has to be free from desire for karma and jnana and from ulterior motives. So this makes the bhakti pure bhakti. So here we are speaking about pure bhakti. And not just pure bhakti, but pure unalloyed bhakti. Because here we are discarding even the 4 types of liberations, besides merging with the Lord. Why Krishna insists that we should become pure devotees? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityaja. Give up all other, basically he says, give up all other desires, besides the desire to please me. So why is he insisting so much in other places also? Because this is the only way. Well, first of all, what is the most important thing for Krishna? It is the interaction with the devotees. It's not the fact that Krishna is the supreme controller. He's the master of the 16, the 4, the 3. In second canto it is described how the Lord sits on his throne and then all his personal opulences they are surrounding him, and the personified Vedas are there, and everyone is there, the primordial demigods, and everybody is serving him. His Shaktis are just waiting for the smallest hint from his side that he wants something, and they are fulfilling his desire. Therefore, the Lord is known as Satya Sankalpa. His desires are reality. Our desires, fortunately, not reality. Well, sometimes fortunately, most often. Krishna's desires are fulfilled immediately, even prior to he stating them. So, but for him, this is not the most important, that he is in control. For Krishna, the most important is the interaction with the devotees, and therefore he insists that this interaction should be on the highest possible level. And the highest possible level is completely selfless love. He is already on that level. Krishna is already, we can say, pure devotee of his devotees. He is completely dedicated to his devotees. Even to the Mishra devotees, to the neophytes devotees. He is completely dedicated even to the non-devotees. Because he wishes the best for all. But because the pure devotees, they reciprocate with his love, therefore, he says, Sadhunam hridayam tvaham, mattanyathena jananti, naham tebhyo manakapi. I am in the core of the heart of my devotees, and they are in my heart. And I don't know anyone besides them, and they don't know anyone besides me. So therefore he is insisting, he's demanding this, not because he's some kind of a tyrant, a dictator, just like the communist dictators. You should love me. Somebody's smiling there. He knows what I'm talking about. And people are doing manifestations, and smiling, but inside in the core of their heart, they don't like this guy at all. They're actually afraid of him. They hate him. Not like that. It's the opposite. So Krishna is not this type of person. He demands pure devotional service because this is the proper platform for proper and personal interaction. If we are below this platform, if we hold some personal selfish desire, then the flow of rasa, of love and affection will be obstructed. So therefore, because Krishna knows that, he urges us, please, I'm acting on this platform with everyone, I'm completely dedicated to my devotees. So if you want to reciprocate properly with me, you have to come up to this platform. So therefore, pure devotional service, not because he needs something from us. So therefore we should be careful with our desires, because our desires, they define us. If you want to know who stands in front of you, you can ask him, what's your desire, what do you want? And then by the answer you can determine what kind of person is this. Therefore when Dhruva Maharaj had these material desires, and then the Lord appeared and he satisfied his material desires, on the way back to the palace, Dhruva Maharaj felt sorry that he had these material desires. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, therefore we should not have material desires, because if we approach the Lord with material desires, he might fulfill them, but we will feel very sorry. Because that means that you do not value the personal relationship with Krishna. It's not your top priority. Maybe it is important, but you have something else in mind also. That means you automatically denigrate your relationship with the Lord to the second, third, fourth place in your top priority list. And Krishna doesn't do that. For him, we are the most important. That's what actually matters for him. Therefore, we should be careful about our desires, and our desires are actually, the quality of our desires, what's the word? By the quality of our desires, we are placed in a hierarchy of personalities, of quality persons in this universe. And this is how also we try to control our minds, because our mind is controlled by our desire. Therefore, there is no question of control of the mind unless we purify our desires. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Would you like to say something, to add something, to comment? Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, like towards the end you were mentioning that just like we should not ask material desires, we should not go to the Supreme Lord with material desires, because we'll feel sorry later on, isn't it? So, but at the same time we see, if we compare it with relationship between wife and husband, sometimes wife can, though she may love the husband, but ultimately she has to go to the husband to ask anything she may want. So if at all in a relationship, if she feels that whatever I may ask, it affects the relationship, so then it becomes little difficult to maintain that relationship. So then what should be done that way?
Yes, this is the highest standard. Of course, if we to repeat the question, the question is?
Sure.
Yeah, the question is if we should not approach the Lord with material desires, then this may put some strain on the relationship. For example, the husband and the wife. If the wife has some needs, and if she's afraid or uncomfortable to approach the husband with these needs, this may somehow diminish their relationship. Is it? Yeah. So this is the highest standard, of course, that we don't ask anything material from the Lord. But if we are not on that level, and we're gonna ask anyone, we're gonna anyway ask somebody, it's better, the best is to be the Lord, of course. Because who else can you ask? The demigods or some powerful human being? Not advised. So if you're going to do it anyway, then we should approach the Lord. But then the best not to do it. There is this It's called, this famous verse from second canto of Bhāgavatam. Akama sarva kamova moksha kama, thank you, udharadi, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. This is called tivra bhakti. Tivra bhakti means you have material desire, but you don't do anything material to fulfill your desire. You just perform bhakti, and the Lord knows your desire. The examples are Kardama Muni, who wanted to get married, but he didn't he didn't create a Facebook account to put his pictures there and to attract some ladies. He just performed his sadhana as a brahmachari, and then the Lord arranged everything. Another example is Dhruva. Dhruva Maharaj wanted to have great kingdom. He didn't start business or politics. He didn't try to overthrow his father. He just performed tapasya and then the Lord arranged. So this is Tivra Bhakti. You have material desire, but you don't do anything special for this desire. You depend on the mercy of the Lord. But you can also ask the Lord, if it's so bad, then what can you do? Better to ask the Lord than... But then you feel sorry, because when the Lord reveals His beauty, His sweet, when you become conscious of the sweet relationship that you actually have with the Lord, then you'll feel sorry that you asked anything, because this is the greatest reward. Again, because that means that you put the Lord down in your priority list and the relationship with Him. You want something else. I'm serving you because I want something. And what do we want? Something material, which cannot actually fulfill the needs of the soul, because the soul is never pleased by matter. Is this going into the direction of answering your...
Yes, very much. But just I was just saying that sometimes, for example, if we compare the relationship of devotee and Supreme Lord, we can compare it to wife and husband. So sometimes wife has some desires, but she can only depend on the husband. So then my first question what I had asked is, what if it becomes a little difficult for the wife to ask the husband for whatever she needs because of the tension that she might lose the relationship? So then what can she do? So this follow-up question is, why should it be in this case such that if wife approaches the husband, or the devotee in this case, it is clear, now devotee is approaching the Lord for some material desires. Sometimes, for example, according to time, place, circumstance, for say now the job market is very poor. So now,
very poor?
job market.
Job market.
Yeah, there's the recession and so many things going on. Now, even to sustain, they need job. It's not necessarily to go away from the Supreme Lord, but so then the question comes: can't we do both? Ask the Lord for these things, but at the same time, when the Lord reveals His beauty, we want to be attracted to that beauty also. Both.
Yes, that's what happened to Dhruva Maharaj when he saw the Lord, and then he felt very sorry, and then he made this famous claim that I was looking for broken glass, and now I got the greatest opulence. Then Krishna told him, now I'll fulfill your desire. What you wanted, it will happen. And Dhruva Maharaj said, no, but please don't do that, because if you do that, then you won't give me prema. That's what he told. And Krishna said, no, I will give you both prema and I will fulfill your desire. And this happens regularly in 10th canto. You see the example of this florist in Mathura. There are two devotees that they get similar blessings from Krishna. They get the blessing that they will enjoy material opulence unhampered, uninterrupted to the rest of their lives, and their family members as well, and then they'll go back home to Godhead. So we have these examples in Shastra. And Sudama Vipra is another example. Another thing I was thinking, we should be at the same time uncomfortable asking the Lord for material things, but at the same time, Krishna can handle any type of material contamination coming from the devotee. He will purify us. He will not reject us, whatever the contamination is. An example is Kubja from the Krishna book. She had this passionate desire to enjoy with the Lord. He didn't reject her. He didn't. He purified her, and then she became pure. So he knows how to handle us. Whatever we have in our heart, he will take care. So at the same time, uncomfortable, but also we should be relaxed in our, not in a bad way. We should feel sure that Krishna will give us his mercy. This is one of the symptoms of surrender, right? Okay? Thank you. Something else? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I guess I had a similar question as far as, is it too soft? I had a similar question that what if one thinks that a certain type of material advantage would help in the devotional service? Is it okay to ask for that?
For help.
Ask for that material boon, whatever that may be, to do the devotional service. Is that Maya, or are we like, if we are surrendered, is everything
What is
already?
the material boon that you are referring to, for example?
I don't know, a car or something to do the service, whatever that is. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he was asking for a whole kingdom initially. But then he didn't want any of it. But what if somebody, a bhakta thinks, or somebody, maybe not a pure bhakta, but somebody thinks that I need this or that, and they start to ask for this, does that hamper the relationship? Because the Lord, he already provides everything, and whatever is necessary for the service anyways. So.
Okay. I'll quote just one. The question is, if somebody asks a boon from the Lord for the sake of enhancing his devotional service, is this gonna change the dynamics of the relationship for some in some negative way? I will quote a verse from Bhāgavatam, and then I'll ask Yugal Kishore Prabhu, request him to say something. The verse that I was thinking is, one should desire only healthy way of life, right? What is this verse? One should desire only healthy way of life. So, yes. Thank you. So the healthy way of life, good health, because in this way one can peacefully inquire about the absolute truth. So it's a kind of facility for devotional service. If you're in good health, you can perform bhakti in more ways. I mean, bhakti doesn't depend on good health; it's independent, but it makes it easier. You can perform more types of devotional service. So.
No, I couldn't hear the exact
question. So the question is that, is it okay if someone desires some material facilities to facilitate his service to Krishna? Is that fine?
My answer is, whatever is best for us, Krishna knows. More than what is good for us, Krishna knows what is best for us. Even similar to your question also. Krishna knows the whatever situation we are in, that is the best situation we are in. And if we take it from the right perspective, we make a lot of progress. And honestly speaking, asking these material facilities and all, if they are needed, Krishna will give. Krishna has not given means they are not needed. Especially if they will distract us, Krishna knows. Because we don't have any good idea about three moods. We don't have any good idea about Maya. So Krishna has very good idea. So based on our qualification, based on our mentality, Krishna gives us actually. So, but if we qualify ourselves more and more, and when Krishna develops faith that this person will not abuse, but rather it will use it in service, and that will help him in his progress, why not? Actually, the property Srila Prabhupada alone has acquired. One time ISKCON as an organization could not maintain. That many properties Srila Prabhupada acquired. Means, actually, I went to Florida. This Prasadam distribution program has been going on for 50 years. Just because Prabhupada stood there and gave a class for some time. That's it. So every desire Prabhupada had, Shri Krishna fulfilled, because that stage, Krishna's desire and Prabhupada's desire same. So honestly speaking, sometimes we think we want empowerment, we think, we want the facilities, I can do better. So something is not there enough, or something is not there in us. That's why Krishna is not trusting. So we should do bhakti better and better and better. And the day we are ready, Krishna will give. I want to tell one more thing. Instead of when we ask Krishna, Krishna will give in such a way, you will never ask again. And let me tell you, my experience, you want to tell? You should hear this actually. So you are standing in the subway, you are standing on the road, waiting for the car, it's just a small mental example, I told this many times. You are standing on the road, it's freezing cold, you don't even have $1, and then you are looking for somebody who will come and give $1. Suddenly one car stops. Where are you going? Skerman Street. Please come in. I'm also going to Skerman Street. Thank you. This is Mercedes. And he'll drop you in the Skerman Street and you'll say, thank you very much. He'll ask you, where is your garage? Why? This car, the first person I pick up, this car belongs to him only. So this car I'm giving it to you. All you need is $1, but Krishna is giving you a car. That's what Krishna does actually. Believe me. One day I was standing and praying to Jagannath Balasudramai in Detroit temple. Somebody came and embraced me and I turned. So, Prabhu, yes, what do you want? I said, Prabhu, I want to tell you this. I don't do book distribution nicely. I'm such a useless guy, bum. I cheat people. Yesterday somebody came and said, we saw you have been seeing you nicely. How nicely you do book distribution. Take this $50,000 van. Prabhu, they gave me $50,000 van. And I told him, you are telling me? Krishna gave me $2 million temple. So whenever we meet people, like with 3 devotees, we just talk how merciful is Krishna actually. So if you ask, Krishna will give you what you ask. If you don't ask, Krishna will give you much more than you can imagine to ask. That's my experience.
Thank you very much. I just remember in confirmation what Prabhuji was saying, there was a prayer, I think Prithu Maharaj in 4th canto, he prays to the Lord just like a good father does whatever is best for the children without being asked. So please you also, my dear Lord, do whatever you think is best for me. He doesn't specify whatever. He just say, whatever you think is best for me, you give me this. But to have this mood requires to have firm faith in the Lord. Usually we try to keep the control. We think we know what is best for me. But if you let go, then Krishna will do as Prabhuji said, what is actually best. Yes?
If I could also ask real quick, thank you for the class. On this topic, one question relating to a bhajan we sing every morning in the Tulsi Puja. We're asking Seva Adhikari Diye Koro Nijadasi. We're asking that we get the adhikar, the qualification to perform service in Braj. And I was just also reflecting, there's this bhajan that Bhakti Vinod Thakur has, Gurudeva Bada Kripakari. He says, He's praying to the spiritual master, because ultimately in spiritual life, we can't make any advancement unless we please the spiritual master. So he's saying, when, O master, he says his spiritual master ordered him to dwell in the place of Braj and chant the holy names. He says, but when, O master, will you mercifully bestow upon this servant the qualification to fulfill your order? The qualification to fulfill your order. When will you give me the qualification to fulfill your order?
What's this order?
So he's praying to the spiritual master, when will you give me the qualification to fulfill the order that you have given me? Fulfill. Yeah. So
okay.
if you could
So
talk
give
about, what does that mean? Fulfill, how do we get the qualification to fulfill our Guru's order? And what does it mean that we're praying for the adhikar to have, like, to serve in the first place? What kind of desire is that? Could you elaborate?
Because we have material desire, we want to be Krishna. And this desire has to change. And we cannot change it on our own. The price for attaining prema is lauryam, a very strong desire, like greediness, but we don't have it. So it has to come from Krishna. So Krishna has to change our desires, the quality of our desires. By chanting the holy name in proper way, we will attain this taste, and this will change our desire. We will realize how sweet is the devotional service. But we have to concentrate. This is our part. We have to endeavor, and then if we concentrate for a longer amount of time, then by the mercy of Krishna, we'll get this taste. Otherwise, if we never concentrate or very shortly, then it will remain sporadic. And the taste will be very shallow. And the other point, what was how the Guru gives the power, how to...
The Guru gives us service.
And the power to perform the service.
So the Guru gives us service, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying in his bhajan, please empower me to fulfill your order.
Yeah.
So if we're praying to get empowerment to fulfill our Guru's order, so we can please our Guru.
Yeah.
Seems like a catch-22 a little bit.
Yeah, by the blessing, Srila Prabhupada said, my Guru made me pure gold. Golden. I was not, but he made me by his mercy. How this happens, I don't know exactly. If you ask for the technology, how it happens, I don't know exactly, but we get the good qualities somehow by Krishna, by the mercy of the Guru, the good qualities, and they allow us to perform devotional service. Okay, I think we have to go. Grantaraj Srimad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
You got it? Yeah. Yeah or yes?